First there were 8, now there's 4. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Cochrane Stadium here on the campus of Bowling Green State University for the semifinal action between the Bowling Green Falcons and the Bulls of Buffalo. Hi, I'm Zach Smith. I'm joined alongside Brandon Lowe here for this semifinal affair versus the 1-seed Falcons and the 4-seed Bulls. The second game, which we'll be on later, will be the number 6 seed Ohio University Bobcats taking on the number 7 seed Eastern Michigan Eagles. We're going to go ahead and get you the starting lineups for the Bulls first. Brandon?
First for the visiting Buffalo Bulls. In goal, number 1, Emily Kelly. Number 2, Adriana Van Kuyk. Number 4, Caitlin Walsh. Number 8, Leah Wengender. Number 10, Kara Daly. Number 11, Marcy Barbaric. Number 12, Catherine Camper. Number 14, Taylor Caridi. Number 16, Carly Zocali. Number 20, Hannah Callaghan. And number 22, Tess Ford.
And for your Bowling Green Falcons, in the goal tonight, number 33, Kathleen Duvey. Nikita Jacob, number 5, will also be joining her. Chelsea Washington wearing number 7. Nikki Cox, number 9. Number 12, Sarah Allen. Number 19, Sofia Barnes. Number 20, Mackenzie Ruber. Number 21, Audrey Shea. Number 24, Lena Kovar. Mackenzie Ortman wears number 25, and Hannah Dolphus, number 28, all coached under the MAC Coach of the Year, Nat Fannin, in his 3rd year.
And as we're getting ready to get set here on the field, we'll take a look and we'll talk for a moment about how both of these teams got here. We were here the other day, last Sunday, for Bowling Green versus Central Michigan, and Bowling Green didn't look that hot at the beginning, but they came out in the second half, and they were able to defeat the Central Michigan Chippewas by a final score of 4-1.
It was all tied up at 0 in that first half. Good plays on the defensive end as both teams were almost just feeling each other out during that first period of play. And then they came out in that second period, and the Falcons just went off. Great passing, great teamwork, and that defense without Maureen Kennedy last week really stood tall.
And that they did, and whatever Coach Fannin said to the girls at halftime last week, we'll see if they can come out with that same intensity here today. And on the other side, you have the Bulls who got here. Both teams, the Bulls and the Akron Zips, scored in the final minutes of their quarterfinal game. That game went into overtime, and Buffalo clinched it in overtime, and that's why they're here against the Falcons right now.
The Bulls are out there in black and blue with the goalie back there being Kelly in gray with black pants. The Falcons are in white with some light orange on their center, and Duvey back there in neon green as the Falcons will start with the ball all along that back line. The Falcons sport the offensive and defensive players of the year for the Mid-American Conference, although Maureen Kennedy will not be playing today with that lower leg injury.
This is the second time this season we've seen this matchup, of course, being conference opponents. They met once in the regular season here at Cochrane Stadium, where Bowling Green defeated Buffalo by a final score of 2-1.
And it was a very, very defensive game in that time as well, as the Falcons look to drive up the field. Driving up, number 20, Mackenzie Ruber, looking for somebody, and just a little wide of the goal, a little off to the left, was the shot by Ruber with Ortman right there with her for a goal kick for the Bulls.
So we see the Falcons come out, early pressure put on Emily Kelly back there in goal. They've gotten to her once this year, and they're definitely going to test her again today.
Ortman down there on the contest. It's one-on-one as the Falcons look just to get, or the Bulls look just to get rid of it. Sent up to number 25, Mackenzie Ortman, and it's sent up the sideline where it's going to go out of bounds for a throw-in for the Falcons. Over to take it is Sofia Barnes. Barnes looking for somebody in the direction of Ortman. Ortman just kicks it along the left side down the line and off of that back of Ortman's head. And it's going to be another throw-in. Gets off the shin guard of Nikki Cox for a throw-in for the Bulls. Tonight's officials, referee Christopher Collifon, the assistant referees Landon Albert and Jose Ortiz, and the alternate official Ted Gregorio. Two very evenly matched teams during the regular season, Buffalo being 9-7-3, and Bowling Green, the Falcons being 13-5-2, while the Bulls were 9-7-3 as the ball is just kicked out of play. Throw in for the Bulls. And it's right in. The Falcons playing some great defense early on. Chelsea Washington rebounds it out of the box. Kick is up, and just a punt return catch by Duvey, where she's going to look to send it away. Duvey being on the All-MAC second team this year. Duvey looking for somebody. Just will set it down in front of her and look to kick it away. And the one thing we saw, Brandon, against the Chippewas is that Duvey had all the time in the world to go and get rid of that ball.
Yeah, and both these teams, have actively watched film on each other all year. They've played each other before.
Nikki Cox on the cross, cut off.
Both of these teams have played each other before. They know their play style, so it looks early on as if Buffalo's going to put a little more pressure on that back line and force them to do something with the ball. That back line has been really good all season of sort of waiting out their time, buying their moments, and taking advantage of the best opportunity possible. So if the Bulls can put pressure on the defense, that may be best case scenario today for them.
And the Falcons have played really, really good defense, as mentioned. Throw in by the Bulls is to the Bulls. And the Falcons just really need to take advantage of that defensive power that they have as the Bulls look to push the aggressiveness. Number 11, Marcy Barbaric, looks to pass it in. Going to get another attempt here, but the Falcons defense stands tall as Sofia Barnes kicks it out of bounds. It's going to be a throw-in for the Bulls. To throw in is number 10, Kara Daly, the senior. Down to number 14, Taylor Caridi, sent up to midfield where it's met by Nikki Cox. Nikki Cox looking for some help. Nifty footwork, sends it up the sideline to number 28, Hannah Dolphus. Gets back to that back line. The Falcons, more so than any other team really watched this year, really like using that back line.
That's one thing that they've done very, very well. They use it to their advantage almost every game, and that's one large reason that's led to their success.
Chelsea Washington's pass successful up the middle to number 12, Sarah Allen. Sarah Allen over to the side in the direction of Ortman. Ortman just sends it back in the direction of number 21, Audrey Shea, part of that all-freshman team and the All-MAC second team. The ball's going to get kicked up and out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for the Falcons. Back there to take it is Mackenzie Ruber.
And Audrey Shea on that back line for the Falcons was definitely a big add coming into the year as she ended up playing the most minutes on the team this season.
Nikki Cox, a little bit of trouble, passes it over to the side in the direction of Ruber. Ruber to Sarah Allen in the box, and the Bulls kick it away. Ortman on the head. Looks to get it back to Ruber. Ruber tripped up. Both teams showing a lot of aggressiveness early on. And the ball's just getting jostled around between Ortman and Riley Bowers. Marine over there is Chelsea Washington. Whistle's going to get blown. It's going to be a free ball for the Bulls. Off of apparently a foul by Chelsea Washington. Number 7, the MAC Offensive Player of the Year. Taking that is Adriana Van Kuyk. Header by Caridi. And the Falcons maintain a bit of control. Over there holding it is number 10, Cara Daly. Daly keeps it in bounds. Chelsea Washington intercepts, though, and Ortman looks to send it upfield. Ortman in the direction of Sarah Allen. Sarah Allen looks to reset, just sends it to Shea. Shea back to Sarah Allen, who pushes up the far right side. Sarah Allen looking for somebody. Gets it up to Nikki Cox, but it's going to be cut off just before it can reach Cox. And re-controlled by the Bulls. 38-30 left here in the first half of play in the Mid-American Conference semifinals between the 1 seed and the 4 seed, Bowling Green versus Buffalo.
The two favorites that made it out of their the two favorites that made it out of their quarterfinal matchup, of course, both teams in the other matchup, the upset win to get them here.
Yeah, Eastern Michigan beating Ball State. The only MAC school to beat the Falcons this year was eliminated by the Eastern Michigan Eagles on Sunday. Ortman looking to push. Falcons on a little bit of a contest here, intercepted by Chelsea Washington, keeps it in play. Sends it back to that back line to Lena Kovar. over to Shea on the far side. Audrey Shea up to Mackenzie Ruber. Ruber back to Shea, up that side to Sarah Allen. Sarah Allen keeps it in. The Bulls sideline raised their hand as if it was out of bounds, but no whistle. Sarah Allen really hugging that sideline, gets it to Ruber. Ruber's got 2 Falcons with her and just tripped up. Whistle's going to get blown, and it looks like it's going to be a free kick for the Falcons.
It will indeed, as Lena Kovar trots forward. And, of course, Bowling Green scored off a free kick in the first matchup, but that goal was by the Defensive Player of the Year, Maureen Kennedy, who's not playing here today.
Maureen Kennedy, of course, suffering a lower leg injury against Toledo earlier this year. Falcons do miss her, but Central Michigan was not a challenge, and now neither so far are the Bulls. Back there to kick. Little stutter move. Kick is into the box. Over there to reach it is number 28, Hannah Dolphus, but the Bulls are able to recover from that as it was a low line drive kick. Mackenzie Ruber there over on a contest, gets it to Audrey Shea, and up to the side as Dolphus sends it up to Sarah Allen. The ball has really been on that left side of the field as the Falcons' defense has played really well and pushing that aggressiveness. Ruber up to Sarah Allen. Sarah Allen pushing up the side. Enters into the box. Kicks it through to Nikki Cox. Dolphus. It looked like Cox was tripped just a little bit, but no call. Sofia Barnes has the ball. Sofia Barnes, it's going to get kicked out of bounds for a throw-in for the Falcons. Back there to take it is number 19, Sofia Barnes. Sofia Barnes looking for somebody, gets it to Nikki Cox, number 9 for the Falcons. Little stop there, but Nikki Cox recovers. And it's going to be a free ball for the Bulls. Back on that little defensive play, Nikki Cox was in the box, and it looks like she just got pushed over. No whistle, as that will really set the tenure for this game. To take it is number 2, Adriana Van Kuyk, just in front of Sofia Barnes, who whiffed at it, and it's going to be a throw-in for the Bulls. Van Kuyk up to take it yet again.
And while the Bulls haven't had a whole lot of offense, Bowling Green's had a couple of chances, but a lot of play right now being at midfield. Battle for the ball quickly back and forth. Both teams trying to gain an upper hand.
Throw-in gets to Catherine Camper. Catherine Camper to number 11, Marcy Burke. To number 10, Kara Daly. Gets it up the side, back to number 11, Catherine Camper. Looking to get something going. Ball's kept in play. Chelsea Washington gets back and just sends it up to midfield, giving the Falcons defense an opportunity to reset, but the Bulls are right back on the attack. Gets through the feet of Nikita Jacob, and another line drive ball just sent up to the middle. And Dolphus is up there trying just to give her team a chance to breathe. Number 21, Audrey Shea with the Falcons contest. Still with the Bulls. The Bulls look to push. And great save by Kathleen Duvey. That ball looked to almost get in, but Duvey just dives, swats it away. And the first shot is taken, and it's by the Bulls. And it's going to be a corner kick for the Bulls.
So Buffalo has a very good opportunity here if they can gain an upper hand in this game. We're just over 10 minutes in. We're about 11 and a half right now. So big opportunity here for the Bulls. Will they be able to put it behind Duvey's back, or will Bowling Green's defense stand strong?
Kick is a high boomer, looking for the header, and it's going to be up on top of the net. So it was a good kick, right place, but it was just a little too far to the side. So Bowling Green survives the first corner kick of the afternoon. Dewey's going to be back there for a goal kick.
And as Duvey sets up for the goal kick, another thing that's going to change here throughout the night, throughout the course of both games, is the weather. Right now it's cold, it's about 37 degrees, but the temperature is going to fall off quickly as it gets dark. It'll be very cold here by the end of the second game.
And what that really means for these players, other than the fact that they're cold and the adrenaline needs to maintain and keep moving, is the fact that the ground is going to start getting slippery with it being grass.
And the ball plays a little different in the cold, too.
It's going to be a throw-in for the Bulls as the kick was high and over that windbreaker on the far side behind the MAC logo, and it's going to be a throw-in. Throws it in. Nikita Jacobs over there on the contest. Kept alive by the Falcons, who are looking to become back-to-back MAC champions. Chelsea Washington sends it up to Nikki Cox. Nikki Cox sends it over to Chelsea Washington, gets it to Sarah Allen running up the right side. Sarah Allen with one Bull on her. Sarah Allen has her defender trip. Sarah Allen's got nobody in front of her. Gets it to Chelsea Washington. Shot. She had the open berth, then it just went up and over the net. That's going to be one Chelsea Washington kicks herself for.
Offensive player of the year, just couldn't quite get the whole thing on at that time. A little bit high, so they'll have to reset after Emily Kelly punts this one away.
It's just a soft little kick over to the side just outside the goal box, and the Bulls will look to push forward. And it's going to go out of bounds. It's going to be a throw-in for BG. Over there to take it is number 20, Mackenzie Ruber. Ruber throwing in to Sarah Allen. Ruber gets it back. Nikita Jacob just has the ball taken away from her by the Bulls. Over there is number 14, Taylor Caridi. Gets the ball up, won by Ruber, but Bulls maintain. Number 24, Lena Kovar, gets it up to Chelsea Washington. Chelsea Washington looking to get it to somebody just off of the shin guard of the Bulls. It's going to get sent to the near side to number 10, Cara Daly. It's going to go out of bounds for a throw-in by BG, number 19, Sofia Barnes to take it. Sofia Barnes to Cox. Nikki Cox, a part of that all-MAC first team, gets it between the legs. Just a slight little nutmeg, but Falcons maintain. Ball gets off of Ortman, but they're going to rule a handball for a free ball for the Bulls. To take it is Van Kuyk. Ball sent off of Nikita Jacob. Sent back to Nikita Jacob by number 28, Hannah Dolphus, but won by the Bulls. Gets it to number 10, Cara Daly. Cara Daly driving down the side. And just back to a Falcon player. And gets to the Bulls to Callaghan. Callaghan back to number 10, Daly. Daly, a spin move around Ortman, pushes yet again. Ortman recovers. Back to Daly, and Duvey's just going to get a nice, easy little pickup. And Duvey for a goal kick. Offensively, this first half has been dominated by Buffalo.
I think you're seeing a lot of that back and forth play, though, at midfield. Really, no one gaining clear control of the ball. Both teams getting quick strike opportunities, but so far, nobody able to get anything to happen.
Duvey draws a Bulls defender towards her and gets the ball away. It's going to go out of bounds off of one of the Bulls players, and it's going to be a throw-in for Ruber and the Falcons. Ruber gets it up to Nikki Cox. Nikki Cox just sends it forward in the direction of Sarah Allen. And a little bit of a shove. It's going to be a goal kick for the Bulls. So far, two shots on goal, and one corner kick for the Bulls. Two shots by the Falcons, no shots on goal. The one that was debatable was Chelsea Washington's that just went up and over. Goal kick over to the side. And a whistle's going to get blown as Nikki Cox went and slammed into Van Kuyk. It's going to be a free ball. Nikki Cox over there talking to the head official, Christopher Colofan. And Van Kuyk to just send it off for a free kick. Sends up to Nikita Jacob. Nikki Cox has it. Nikki Cox keeps it alive, but stolen away by number 22, Tess Ford. Kicked off by the goalkeeper, up and out of bounds, and we're going to go ahead and get a substitution.
And there you are right there. Katie Cox is going to come in for Hannah Dolphus. So both sisters now on the field for Bowling Green.
Over there to take the throw-in is number 20, Mackenzie Ruber. Ruber throws it in the direction of Nikki Cox. Nikki Cox up the side. Gets the inside little push. Nikki Cox sends it in, and it's going to roll out of bounds. And they're going to rule a handball. And the Falcons, I think, are going to get a free kick. And it looks to be Chelsea Washington to take it, as we're going to get another substitution here in a moment.
Who other than the Offensive Player of the Year to take this right here?
This is purely Chelsea Washington versus Kelly. Kelly in the middle. Chelsea Washington looking. Kicking, and it is a goal for the Falcons! Chelsea Washington off of the penalty kick. Gets it into the left side of the net off of a little bit of a deception move, getting Kelly to go left, Kelly to go right, and the ball to go left from the press box perspective. And the Falcons take a 1-0 lead here in MAC's semifinal play.
That was a big opportunity. Those are the types of goals you can't afford to not score on that kick. And Washington was able to do a great job to convert. And now Bowling Green is on the board first, 1-0 over the Buffalo Bulls.
And Chelsea Washington makes up for that goal that she shot over the head. Coming in for the Falcons, Yasmine Dieselhoff is going to come in for Sofia Barnes to get some fresh legs out there. Nikita Jacob has the ball. Gets it to Sarah Allen.
And one of those things you mentioned earlier was maybe Washington wanted that one back. Well, she got a chance to get it back right there, and she was able to convert.
And that could be a big momentum swing here as we hit the 27-minute mark in the first half of the first game of MAC's semifinal play. Zach Smith, I'm joined alongside Brandon Lowe here at Cochrane Soccer Stadium in Bowling Green. Throw-in by the Bulls, gets over the head of the intended Bulls player. Nikita Jacob, little deception move, and sent up in the direction of Katie Cox, it looks like. Katie Cox sent back to number 25, Ortman. Ortman to Nikita Jacob. Jacob sends back to Shea, using that back line, which the Falcons do so well. Shea back to Kovar. Kovar up to Nikki Cox. Nikki Cox looked to get it between the legs of one of the Bulls defenders to get it to her sister, Katie, but it's getting it back to the midfield line for Shea. Shea in the direction of Allen, and now the Bulls look to try to tie it up. Pass up in the direction of number 10, Daly. It's going to get to the side for Dieselhoff. Dieselhoff up to Chelsea Washington. Chelsea Washington pushing the pace. Chelsea Washington just beating players. Has Sarah Allen and Nikki Cox with her. A little bit of a lead pass. Gets it to Sarah Allen. Sarah Allen's got nobody. And great save there by Kelly. It was a good ball. Kelly got her hand up, and it got out of bounds. But it's going to be a corner kick for the Falcons.
It all really started at midfield when Chelsea Washington broke out past her two defenders, was able to find Sarah Allen out on the outside, and good move there by Allen. And they got a shot on net and punched away by Kelly, but that's going to lead to a corner kick here, which is going to be taken by Dieselhoff.
Dieselhoff from that far left corner. Ball on the near side. Dieselhoff looking to get it in. This is the second corner kick of the game, as both teams are even in terms of corner kicks. Dieselhoff sends up high. Boomer. Chelsea Washington on the header. No good. This was contested. Over there to take it. Number 2, Andrew Van Kuyk, gets it to the center. Daly to, that's Kelly to save it. Here we go, as we get under 25 minutes here. Kelly looking for somebody. Sends it. And header won by Ruber. Sarah Allen gets the ball to Cox. Cox to Chelsea Washington. Chelsea Washington with one player in front of her gets it to Cox. That's Katie Cox. Bulls looking to push pace here. Ball on the far side with the Bulls. Number 21, Audrey Shea over there on the contest, gets it up to Sarah Allen. Sarah Allen looking for Shea yet again. And it's going to meet up with a Bulls player. It's out of bounds. It's going to be a throw-in for BG. Over there to take it is Ruber. Ruber up the sideline to Sarah Allen. And a whistle. And they're going to throw it in again. very popular game here. Between these two teams, there are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total All-MAC team players on this roster, or between the two rosters, either for the All-MAC first team or second team. Throw in for the Bulls. It's going to get kept. It's going to stay in bounds. Nikita Jacobs sends it back to, looks to be Ortman. Excuse me, that's Shea. Gets it to Allen up the sideline, and it's going to stay in bounds for the moment, but go out of bounds for a throw-in for the Bulls.
And as you mentioned, a lot of players coming off those All-MAC teams here, and that's a large part of the reason why both of these teams have made it thus far.
For the Falcons alone, they have 3 all-first team players, 3 all-second team, 2 MAC freshman players, and, of course, you have the offensive, defensive, and coach of the year all on the Falcons. It's a throw-in for the Bulls. Kept alive. And the Falcons will look to try to get this ball back, but the Bulls have another throw-in as we tick under 22:30. Ball out of bounds. Throw in for the Bulls. Throw in and looking just to get it away from the sideline. Cox has the ball, gets it to Nikita Jacob. Nikita Jacob sends it back to that back line. Over to Kathleen Dewey, the goalkeeper, All-MAC second team.
And after that goal by Washington, Bowling Green looks like they have become a lot more comfortable here in this game. Now they're controlling a lot of the possession.
Lena Kovar up to Dieselhoff, back to Kovar.
Keep it down here, keep it down here.
And it's going to send it up to the left sideline in the direction of Chelsea Washington and out of bounds. The one thing that we did mention already, during that Central Michigan game that we witnessed, the Falcons really had all the time in the world on that back line, but right now the Bulls' main objective looks to be to keep the Falcons off balance on that back line and not allow Duvey to have time.
Yeah, that's one thing the Bulls have done really well thus far. They've been able to keep the pressure on the back line, keep them on their heels, and that's what's been working so well for Buffalo as they go in here.
Bulls push, but the Falcons' back line stands firm with Lena Kovar sending it away. Katie Cox gets it to Chelsea Washington with nobody in front of her. Chelsea Washington pushing down the side, gets up the middle, over to Sarah Allen. Sarah Allen with one player to beat. Sarah Allen, left foot, sends it in. Goal for the Falcons! Sarah Allen with her left foot looks to get off the 1 foot of Nikki Cox and in, and Kelly, the goalkeeper, little shaken up. Looked to be a pass from Allen to Nikki Cox and went in. Kelly over there talking to the official, little shaken up, but she's okay. That was actually Katie Cox on the goal, not Nikki. Substitution coming in for the Falcons. Sarah Allen drops out in favor of Kennedy White, a part of that all-freshman team and MAC all-second team. 2-0 for the Falcons.
So over halfway through the game now, Falcons with a 2-goal lead. So that's the 4th goal that Emily Kelly has given up to the Falcons this season.
And perhaps her just falling down like that is just a little bit of frustration. Also getting an assist on that is Chelsea Washington. Whistle's going to get blown for a free ball for the Bulls. And we saw a lot during the Central Michigan game last Sunday. A lot of good passing between Sarah Allen and Nikki Cox. And this time it's her sister Katie benefiting a little bit. Number 2, Adriana Van Kuyk sends it up in the direction of number 11. That's Barberk. And just a nice, easy save there by Kathleen Duvey. Kathleen Duvey not really put to work much so far. Duvey just playing around, looking for somebody to send it to. Again, no real contest. And Duvey's going to send it up in the direction of Kennedy White. Goes up and over her head. It's going to just get kicked out of bounds for a throw-in for BG. Excuse me, that's going to be a free kick. Whistle was blown. Bowling Green still to take it. Over there is number 24, Lena Kovar, who's going to take it as we tick under 20 minutes left in the first half.
And we saw these Falcons against the Chippewas. Once they get hot, they sort of just get on a run. They're a streaky team, and they're looking to do that right now.
Kovar to White. White gets it to Cox. Nikki Cox just falls down, and the ball just sent up in the direction of Kovar. Kovar sends it back to Ruber. Ruber up the side in the direction of Nikki Cox in the box, tries to keep it alive, gets it to Katie. Katie to Ruber. Ruber sent it in. Over to Washington. White over there, and corner kick for the Falcons. Kennedy White was in there. 3 Bulls players around her, including the goalkeeper, Kelly, who's already given up 2 goals today. And it's going to go out of bounds. And to take it, number 24, Lena Kovar from the bottom left corner.
So another chance here coming for Bowling Green, just mere moments after the last goal.
Second corner kick of the night for the Falcons. Kovar kicks it. Little high and over, and the header just a little high. Looked like it was Chelsea Washington again. Scored the first Falcon goal and went up and over for the second time tonight. Chelsea Washington. Goal kick for the Bulls. Over there is the goalkeeper, Kelly. Kelly sends it to the far side, up down the sideline for the Bulls. Down the left side, and the Bulls look to push pace. And Kovar just sends it out of bounds. And throwing for the Falcons over there to take it is Ruber. Two 2-0 the score in case you're just joining us. The first goal scored by Chelsea Washington. The second one off of a great pass from Sarah Allen to Katie Cox to get us to 2-0 here as we go under 17 minutes in the first half. Zach Smith alongside Brandon Lowe. Bulls with the ball, trying to get on the board. Nifty little shake and bake move by Caridi. Falcons defense stands firm.
That was really the first pressure we've seen this Buffalo team put on the back line since before Chelsea Washington's goal.
Chelsea Washington to Kennedy White. Kennedy White with only the goalie to beat. And great save there by Kelly. Sticks her left foot out there or else that's a goal. Dieselhoff keeps it alive. Dieselhoff and Chelsea Washington over there. Chelsea Washington keeps the ball. Gets it between the legs through a nutmeg. Katie Cox in the center. Passes to Chelsea Washington. Chelsea Washington with both players converging. Pass in. And Nikki Cox, another great save there by Kelly. Sending it away as that's 2 shots the Falcons have had that Kelly just sends away. Ball sent over the head of Chelsea Washington. It's going to roll out of bounds for a throw-in for the Bulls.
That was 2 quick, great shots by the Falcons, but Emily Kelly used all of her body to get in front of both of them and keep the Falcons from getting an even larger lead.
It's going to be a throw-in for the Falcons. And again, a lot of credit to Emily Kelly. That first one sticks her left foot to not allow Kennedy White to get that goal. And then that second time, sticking her hand up to get it away from Nikki Cox. Chelsea Washington, little bump pass to Nikki Cox. Nikki Cox to Chelsea Washington is intercepted by the Bulls. And trying to stay alive, gets it off of the shin guard of number 10, Cara Daly, throwing for the Falcons. Dieselhoff to take it. Dieselhoff looking for somebody, letting the Falcons move around and maneuver. Dieselhoff throw into Kennedy White. Kennedy White over to the side in the direction of Nikki Cox, but it's going to go ahead and stay with the Bulls as Emily Kelly makes arguably the easiest save she's had to in the past couple of minutes. And she's going to let her team move down the field a little bit before she sends the boot. High boot sends to the midfield stripe over the head of Daly. And out. Katie Cox looking to send it up. little bit of a shrug here. Chelsea Washington keeps possession, sends it back to Kovar. Kovar looking to Duvey. Duvey back to Kovar. Kovar up to Yasmin Dieselhoff. Back to Kovar. And we're going to see another substitution here in a moment for Buffalo. Kathleen Duvey, the goalkeeper, All-Max second team, has the ball on the right side of the field as we tick under 14 here to play. Duvey just kicking it around a little bit as you hear some Buffalo fans yelling the pressure. If you give the Falcons time, they will just wear that clock out. Over to take it is Van Kuyk. Sends it up to the midfield stripe to Nikita Jacob, to Chelsea Washington, to White. Kennedy White. Great speed. Look to be a push. That's what they're going to rule. As the full arm of Kennedy White extended, pushing over her defender, and the refs will call that every time. Up the side to Shea. Shea to White. White to Katie Cox. Or excuse me, that was Nikki Cox. To Nikita Jacob, up to her, up to Katie Cox now. It's going to be a throw in for the Bulls.
You were just 5 seconds in the future.
As it would appear.
In for Buffalo now is going to be number 19, Jennifer Manorando, and number 23, Annie Judas.
Callahan and Caitlin Walsh are both going to check out for the Bulls, as Buffalo faithful are here in attendance today. It is a win or go home for both teams. Whoever wins will move on to MAC final play on Sunday, and whoever loses, their season will be over here today.
The winner of this game, of course, will take on the winner of Eastern Michigan and Ohio, which will come to you next after this game at 7 o'clock.
Back there on the right side, it belongs with the Falcons. Ball stays inbounds and rolls up the sideline. Bulls will hold possession. Katie Cox on a contest. Nikki Cox right behind her. Nikita Jacob blocks that one off. And there's going to be a whistle, apparently on Nikita Jacob. Both teams, a little bit of pushing and shoving all night, and it's just going to be ruled against the Falcons. Bulls on the free kick. Taken by, looks to be number 2, Adriana Van Kuyk. Falcons in a wall on the left side of the box with Duvey, the only one near the goal posts. Van Kuyk waiting to kick. Kicks high. Header won by Washington, and they're going to rule offsides. It's going to be Falcon ball.
Falcon ball indeed here as we have 11 minutes to play.
Duvey sends it up the side to Kovar. Kovar looking for a teammate. Kovar sends back to Duvey. Duvey just going to dribble a little bit. No real contest. Another BG substitution inbound. Duvey sends it over to Kovar. Kovar sends it up the left side. Intercepted by Van Kuyk. Intercepted by the Bulls, sent up the sideline near Dieselhoff. Dieselhoff has Daly right there with her, sends it up to Chelsea Washington. Gets it to Cox. Chelsea Washington just sends it up the left side. Kennedy White's got to be careful, and they're going to whistle an offsides, and we're going to see a substitution.
You saw her. She knew she was offsides there. She tried to hold up, wasn't able to do so, ruled offsides.
Substitution incoming on the next dead ball. Free kick for the Bulls. To take it is number 22, Tess Ford, sends it up in the direction of number 11, Marcy Barberic. And now Nikki Cox is going to get an opportunity with one person in front of her, and that one person's going to beat her. And the Bulls survive another offensive attack for the moment, and the ball's going to kick up and out of bounds, thrown for the Bulls, and substitutions.
The subs will come now. And for the Bulls, that is going to be number 9, Gianna Jurczyk. And then in for Bowling Green will be Alexis Miller checking in for Nikita Jacob.
Giving Nikita Jacob an opportunity to sit down. Nikita Jacob having a great season herself, both on the defensive and offensive side of the ball. The big thing that's typically misconstrued in sports is that if you're not on the All-Pro or the All-MAC team, you're just apparently not on the best. But these Falcons have some of the best players all around.
And one of the things that we've talked about with this Bowling Green Falcons team is the depth off the bench. They're able to bring a lot of key players off the bench, so their level of play doesn't really decline at all throughout the game, and that is a big part of their success.
Especially you see that with the defensive side, as it's going to be a dead ball, and the Falcons are going to get a free kick. Near the near side here is number 24, Lena Kovar. As we get to 8:35 here on the game clock in the first half, with the Falcons up 2-0 in MAC semifinal play. Kovar looking to kick.
Another substitution will come for the Falcons in a moment.
Kovar head off of one of the Bulls players and sent up. Ortman was right there trying to keep it alive, and Shea is going to be on that far sideline. Shea down in the direction of Mackenzie Ruber. Mackenzie Ruber to number 21, that's Sarah Allen. Over to Katie Cox. To Shea, high boot. And Kelly makes a punt returner catch and will just roll it in front of her.
Trying to get something started quickly here as Kelly gives it right out to one of her defenders.
And unfortunately it goes right to Lena Kovar, one of the Falcon defenders, and sent back to that back line for the back line just to dribble around for a minute. The Bulls, other than that early first couple of attacks, really have not gotten anything through this Falcon defense. Kathleen Duvey, the goalkeeper, has it, just content to dribble. Finally, a little bit of contest by the Bulls, sent over near Chelsea Washington. Chelsea Washington gets it to Katie Cox. Katie Cox a little farther away from Ruber. Ruber keeps it in. And it's going to go out of bounds off of Ruber for a throw-in for the Bulls as the Bulls look to push a little bit with just about 7 minutes left. Throw-in is to the Bulls. And there's a whistle. Ruber not sure what she's being whistled for, but it's going to be a free ball for the Bulls. And with the Bulls getting an opportunity here, this is going to be their, I believe, their third or fourth time on this side getting a free kick. To take it is Van Kuyk. Sun is in her eyes. She's got her hand up, looking for somebody to pass to. Two Falcons just in front of her, and then a couple on that far side. Van Kuyk cannot see anything.
And you can tell she's having a very hard time seeing through the sun.
It's kicked to the far side directly to Lena Kovar. Falcons keep it alive, keep it out of the box. High kick, up and over. It would have been good if it was a field goal, but wrong kind of football. It is going to be Falcons' goal kick as Bulls fans scream for a handball.
So multiple substitutions are going to be coming into the game. For the Bulls, you are going to have number 7, and that's Riley Bowers coming in. And then for the Falcons, you're going to have number 23, Lindsay Spots, and number 11, Kirsten Tveit, checking into the game.
Giving Ruber and Nikki Cox an opportunity to sit and breathe. Both players playing a lot of minutes here today. Chelsea Washington also playing a lot of minutes, is still in the game, has not sat yet. It's still in play, but throw in for the Falcons. Up to Nikki Cox. Down the sideline, but won by the Bulls. But a whistle was blown, so another free ball for the Bulls. Handball. As we get under 5 minutes here at Cochrane Soccer Stadium. I almost said Kaufman, but this is not Kansas City. Ball gets to Duvey in the goal on the right side in her neon green goalkeeper uniform. And Duvey just drops it in front of her, and now Duvey's going to just let the ball sit for a little bit, gets it to Kovar. Kovar just playing around a little bit, fancy footwork, sends it up in the direction of Katie Cox, and headers collide, and Katie Cox falls to the ground. It's going to be a free kick for the Falcons. Katie Cox on the foul. Sends it up in the direction of number 23, Lindsay Spots. And another trip, another fall. Clock's going to stop. And a card was up. That's going to go against Lindsay Spots. Didn't look as if there was malintent. It was a yellow card for Lindsay Spots, so one more yellow card for Spots, and she's going to have to sit out the rest of this game, which could be big. Ball kicked out of bounds, and it's going to be a throw-in for the Falcons. Looking for somebody to throw to, gets it in. Katie Cox over there gets the ball. Sends it to that back line for the Falcons, which is just so strong. Kovar gets it up to number 27. That's Alexis Miller. But the Bulls look to push pace. Gets it to number 19, Jennifer Mandarano. Adrienne Van Kuyk trying to get it down the center of the field. Gets it to number 25, Ortman. Mackenzie Ortman sends it back to that back line. Deiselhoff to Kovar. To Dolphin. To Duvey. Kathleen Duvey to Kovar. Kovar gets it to Chelsea Washington, who's just content to send it up down the middle. Two Falcons right there. Deiselhoff has an opportunity. Little bit of pushing, and they're going to rule a corner kick for the Falcons.
Big opportunity here with under 2:30 to play here in the first half, as the Falcons could put a 3-goal lead on the board going into halftime. Right now, of course, it sits at 2 after goals by Washington and Katie Cox.
As we tick to about 4:47 p.m. here in Bowling Green, Ohio, the weather is starting to get colder. It is 35 degrees here, but it feels like 31. Kovar is over there on the bottom left corner if you're looking at it from a box. Kovar sends it up to Chelsea Washington, and just a little far to the side. That's the third time Chelsea Washington, the fourth in total that Chelsea Washington has had right point blank in front of the goal. Only one of them has she converted on. The other three have gone out of play. Coming in for the Falcons,
Number 10, Ruby Linton, is going to check in for Mackenzie Ortman.
As most of the starters have gotten out of the game, giving them a minute to breathe before the second half begins in this win-or-go-home affair in MAC conference play. Adriana Van Kuyk just sends it up to number 10, Daly. And Linton wins it. Gets the ball to number 27, Alexis Miller. Ball gets just behind her, but she's going to send it to that back line to Shea. As we have hit 1 minute remaining here in Bowling Green, Ohio, with Falcons up 2-0. Bulls looking to push just a little bit. The winner of this game will play the winner of Ohio and Eastern Michigan, who will look to kick off at about 7 o'clock, pending the results of this game. All games from here on out will be here at Cochrane Soccer Stadium as Kennedy White looks to pace. Kennedy White, nifty little move, tripped up, and the Falcons are going to get a free ball. Clock is going to get stopped. Yellow card is issued. We will see who it's issued to.
I don't think she touched her.
So 28 seconds left.
And players up here in the press box believe Carly Zocali is going to get charged with that yellow card. So 2 yellow cards here have been issued in this first half of play. 28 seconds left. To take the kick is Alexis Miller, it looks like, with Lena Kovar right there next to her. Kathleen Duvey, the goalkeeper, is the only player on the right side of the field for the Falcons right now. Everybody else on the left side. And waiting for the referee to allow play to happen. Kovar with Alexis Miller. And it's a line drive kick too far to the left. 22 and counting here in Bowling Green, Ohio. And it looks like the Bulls are maybe just content to let this clock run out as we run under 10 seconds here. And Kelly's just going to let this one sit. And that's going to be all she wrote here in the first half. The Falcons are going to trot into halftime with a 2-0 lead. First of all, off that goal by Chelsea Washington to get us started. Chelsea Washington had a ball that went up and over the goalpost, but on the second try, she really put that goal exactly where it needed to be. And then later on, with that second goal being scored off of a beautiful pass from Sarah Allen over to Nikki Cox. Or excuse me, that's Katie Cox, not Nikki Cox. Katie Cox gets it off of the right side of her foot and into the net, and that's the goal scored here in the first half.
That was my kryptonite in the season, too. Don't worry. But no, regardless of that, Bowling Green does go into the half with a 2-goal lead, 2-0 over the Buffalo Bulls. And really, we saw play shift throughout the first half where Buffalo came out early. They were on the attack, and then we saw some back-and-forth play. But after the goal by Chelsea Washington, Bowling Green, you could see, gained a lot of momentum, and they didn't really look back. We'll see what the second half has in store for us when we come back here in about 14 minutes.
And just a couple quick stats before we head into a little bit of a break. 2 total goals were scored in that first half, 1 by Washington, 1 by Cox. 2 assists. 11 total shots were taken by the Falcons, 4 by Buffalo. 5 of those 11 shots were on goal, whereas 3 of the 4 shots for Buffalo were on goal. There were 3 corner kicks for the Falcons in that first half, 1 by the Bulls. 2 yellow cards issued, one in the direction of Chelsea Washington, or excuse me, looking at the scoring cards, 1 in the direction of number 23, Lindsay Spots, and 1 in the direction of the Bulls player, Carly Zokali. The score is 2-0 here at the half. We're going to go ahead and take a little break. When we come back, Brandon Lowe and I will be here to give you the call for the second half of semifinal play. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back.
All right, and we are back here at Cochrane Stadium as the final seconds of the warm-up halftime period tick off the clock. We will reset. Bowling Green leads 2-0 over the Buffalo Bulls here in this first semifinal matchup. We'll recap the first half. And Zach, give us a rundown on what happened there in the first.
So, in the first half, we really saw, just for the first couple of minutes, a game of trying to find one another. The Bulls came out, played aggressive defense, played aggressively on offense, tried to get something going, but that back line for the Falcons and goalkeeper Kathleen Duvey just played fantastic, not allowing anything to go through. We had about 17-23, Chelsea Washington off of a penalty kick got the first goal in there. Chelsea Washington has had 4 attempts on that goal. Only one of them has gone in. The other two of them have gone over the goal and one to the side. And then Sarah Allen off of a beautiful pass gets it to Katie Cox, who gets that score off of her right foot past the diving Emily Kelly, the goalkeeper for the Buffalo Bulls. And that's how we're at 2-0.
We are at 2-0 again, and like Zach said, back and forth in the middle there. Before the Washington goal, Buffalo had a quick strike early on. They weren't able to make anything happen. Bowling Green now has all the momentum on their side as we get ready to go here in the second half. Bowling Green with a 2-0 lead. Of course, the winner of this game will move on to the MAC Championship on Sunday, and we'll take on the winner of Ohio Bobcats and
the Eagles of Eastern Michigan.
There we go.
We saw during that halftime break, just a quick thing to bring up, that Buffalo was warming up their goalkeeper, Sarah Bykowitz, but Emily Kelly is back there right now, all warmed up and ready to go, as she seemed to suffer some sort of head injury after that Chelsea Washington score. She was down for a little bit, but ended up playing through that first half.
Maybe on the hot seat as well here, as she's given up 4 goals now to the Falcons this season, 2 in this matchup. So Buffalo is going to find themselves in a tough spot here as they look to get something going here at the start of the second half, and we will kick off now. Ball goes straight back to the Buffalo back line. Working around, trying to get it to the outside, looking for Caitlin Walsh. Walsh will look forward. Washington is there. Washington's going to play it back to Kovar. Kovar looking to play it forward, looking for Katie Cox. Quickly played away by the Bulls as they will try to press across midfield. They'll do so on the far side. Ball will stay in. The Bulls have a streaking player, but it's going to be kicked out by Audrey Shea. Great positioning there in the box.
And that back line has played such dominant defense today, not allowing much to get past them, and helping to keep Kathleen Dewey's night relatively stress-free.
Dysselhoff with the pressure out there on the outside. It's going to be a corner kick for Buffalo.
Other thing to watch, 2 yellow cards were thrown out during that first half of play on Falcons number 23, Lindsay Spots, and Bulls player number 16, Carly Zocali. So keep an eye on that if in case this game starts to get chippy towards the end.
The Wengender, it looks like, will take the corner kick. Can't see 6 or 8. Hard with the blue on the black here as the lights come on and it gets dark outside, but Buffalo going to send it in. Quickly played out by Nikki Cox. Race for the ball towards the outside. Buffalo going to keep it in. Looking for Caridi. Ball's going to go out, but it will stay with the Bulls.
A little bit of a tumble there between Dysselhoff and the Bulls player playing that defensive game.
Played in, quickly taken away by Nikki Cox. Bulls regain possession. Ball bouncing around now. Sarah Allen finds herself with it. She'll look to come near side, finds Washington in the middle. Washington presses up to Ortman. Ortman going to try to look ahead to Ruber. Ruber on the run. She's going to get around her defender. Let's see if Ruber can make something happen and bring the ball back inside. Good move there by Ruber. Stays out in front. Tries to cross it into the middle. She will do just that, but it's going to go off the knee of Katie Cox. Sarah Allen will try to keep it in, but it's going to be ruled out of play. So it will be a goal kick coming here for Emily Kelly.
And great job there by Sarah Allen just to get down the field. Almost had that ball stay in bounds, but that left foot just touched the out of bounds grass.
Washington and Ruber were on such a run there that Mackenzie Ruber found herself very far out in front of the rest of the Bowling Green forwards, and she just really didn't have a whole lot of options there with the ball that time. Bowling Green now again with the ball. Quickly taken away by the Buffalo back line. Battle at midfield. Foul is going to be called there on Nikita Jacob. We are going to get a stoppage right now.
Another slight developing story is the weather here in Bowling Green, as I think we're starting to really see the weather take effect. A lot of players out there wearing gloves or have their hands caught up in their sleeves. It's currently 35 degrees here in Bowling Green, Ohio, but it feels like 30 degrees. That wind coming from the west going at a 5 mile per hour. It's chilly out here. I can only feel for Donovan Mann up on the roof of the press box.
Of course, our BGRSO director up there. He's braving the elements right now. Bowling Green's going to play the ball out. Washington heads it out, finds Nikki Cox. Nikki Cox looks to go back to Washington. Buffalo still finds themselves with the ball in the middle. Will go into the waiting arms of Doobie at the top of the box. 42 minutes to play here. We're 3 minutes into the second half.
Nice read, Catherine. Let's go, Bulls!
Doobie's just going to take her time, and she will send it away. Looking all the way forward to Sarah Allen. Buffalo tries to play it away, but it finds the foot of Mackenzie Ruber, who's going to go back to the back line. Audrey Shea sends it forward. Katie Cox. Cox is going to give it right back to Shea.
That's it.
Kovar into the middle. Taken away there by Buffalo. Buffalo now trying to move it forward. Wengender. Tried to find someone on the run. Not going to happen, though. Bowling Green now. Sarah Allen looking forward, finds Nikki Cox. Cox is looking to press forward, trying to get around Tess Ford. Does indeed get around Tess Ford, and she's going to be taken down. And we will see where they rule this, inside or outside of the box. It looks like they're going to call it on the outside of the box. So it's going to be a free kick for Bowling Green here. Was close to being an in-the-box foul, which would have, of course, led to another penalty kick. Bowling Green's already converted on one of those tonight, but a free kick coming here as Lena Kovar trots over towards the near side, south side of the field.
And Bulls fans, of course, not happy about that. These Buffalo Bulls have really just been held in check by a great Falcons defense, and now you see another opportunity for them to get a kick.
This is going to be a good opportunity coming here. We'll see how Lena Kovar elects to play this ball. Kovar comes set, waiting for a whistle. There it is. Kovar will send it in, looking for Washington. Washington able to get ahead on it again, but into the waiting arms of Emily Kelly.
And it seems like they're really letting this offense flow through Chelsea Washington, the MAC Offensive Player of the Year, trying to let this team spark. That is the 5th time that she hasn't had an opportunity on goal today.
Proving tonight why she was this conference's Offensive Player of the Year. Audrey Shea on the back line. She, of course, made the freshman team. The all-freshman team for the Mid-American Conference. It's going to be played out there, so the Bulls will take over. So Kelly. Look to Walsh. Washington. Going to go back to Kovar. Looking to move it around. Kovar's just going to give it back to Duvey. They try to get some pressure on Kathleen Duvey at the top of the box, but she's able to send it out to midfield. Nikita Jacob finds herself with the ball now. Quick give to Katie Cox. We'll pass it back to the outside. Far side, Katie Cox looked to press forward to her sister, Nikki Cox. No good, but Bowling Green will retain possession as Katie Cox has the ball once again. Nikki Cox now trying to work the ball back inside. Buffalo's back line will take it away. Moved forward to Wengender. Looking outside for Walsh, but that one is going to roll out of play. Throw-in coming for Bowling Green.
And the one thing I'm noticing, at least on the offensive point of view, is it looks like the Falcons are more so just looking to play good defense and not allow any scores to get in through. They do have that comfortable 2-point lead, but it does not look as if they are as aggressive on the offensive end right now.
Ruber went to Washington. Washington went to Kovar. Kovar tried to play it forward to Katie Cox, but the Bulls will kick it out of bounds there on the far side, so Bowling Green will have a throw-in from the opposite side of the field. Dieselhoff to throw in. Quick throw in to Katie Cox. Back to Dieselhoff. Looking to move it back towards the middle, but Cox instead sends it back to the outside for Sarah Allen. You're going to get an offsides call that time.
It did not look like there was an offsides there. It looked more so that the defender was right there with Sarah Allen. but the offsides was called.
So now Buffalo set to send it away.
And it looks like Nikki Cox is trying to deduce what's going to happen as she started going back towards the goalkeeper, Kelly, as it made it look like that's what they were trying to pull off.
Ball bounces around down in front of the Falcon bench. It's going to be out of play, Falcon ball. Deiselhoff will throw in again. Looks to Ortman. Deiselhoff playing forward to Nikita Jacob. Jacob trying to go forward to Nikki Cox. Finds her on a run, and she is going to get called for an offsides that time.
Well, if the offsides wasn't called, and that's a goal right there.
Indeed, it would have been. But instead, now the Bulls back line will get to send it away again. But while they do that, while they send it away and try to play something forward, we're going to give a quick shout-out to the family of Kennedy White in California. They've listened to a large majority of the games. I believe they said it was all of them, so we'd like to shout them out for being faithful listeners. We know they're listening here tonight.
Thank you for being so supportive of Falcon Athletics as well as us broadcasters with BGRSO and WBGU-TV.
Now Bowling Green tries to regain possession of the ball. They will do that as Nikita Jacob goes to Sarah Allen. Now the Bulls will take over after the turnover. Nikita Jacob is able to step in front of a pass that time. Plays it back to the middle for Nikki Cox. Cox makes a move on one defender. Now buying her time, waiting for the offense to press all the way forward. Tried with some fancy footwork to look for Washington there, but it's going to be taken away by the Bulls.
And the Bulls, ever since those two early scores, have really started to pick up on the defensive side. And you can tell just because they're wearing out these Bowling Green offensive players.
Nikki Cox now has the ball in the middle of the field. Gives it to Chelsea Washington. Washington buying her time. Going to give it back to Nikki Cox quickly. Katie Cox instead, rather. And she'll put a dribbler on net, but Emily Kelly just able to bend over and pick that one up. Kelly. Now Walsh with the ball near side right in front of our booth. Tries the dish there to Caridi. No beans. Washington quickly to Nikki Cox. Nikki Cox finds herself with a lot of room. She's going to take her time. She's going to give it to Ortman. Ortman going to go quickly back to Nikki Cox. She's got her sister on the far side. That is indeed who she's going to look to in the middle. Her sister is going to be called offsides as well. So Bowling Green still having the offensive opportunities, getting called for a couple offsides penalties though, but they're sustaining that level of play through the first 10 minutes of this half that we saw them round out the first half with.
And that's the third offsides penalty that we've seen here in this second half of play. All three, the Falcons had a one-on-one matchup, and unfortunately they just were out of bounds or just too far for it, and the officials called those offsides.
Now they're going to get a free kick. It looks like indeed they will. The Bulls going to quickly play it back. Looking to take their time and let something develop. They're going to play it all the way back to Kelly.
Trying to copy that backline maneuver that the Falcons like to do so well, keep their goalkeeper and their back line involved, as that back line keeps Duvey nice and fresh, tries to keep their goalkeeper, Kelly, all refreshed as well.
Now it's going to be a throw-in for Bowling Green. Mackenzie Gruber going to go quickly into Nikki Cox. Just gives it back to Shea at midfield. Sends it back into Cox quickly. Looked to go for Washington or Ortman. They were both right there, but it's going to be taken away by the Bulls. Wengener now possesses the ball. Looking to go forward to Walsh. Bulls have a run here. Walsh on the outside. Defensive pressured by Washington. Walsh is going to look to send it in. Good block there by Washington, able to get a leg in front of it. The foul is going to be called there on Caitlin Walsh.
And that's a good call right there. that was not intent to go for the ball. That was intent to knock over Ruber as Ruber tried to push the pace. And with Chelsea Washington, she's the MAC Offensive Player of the Year, but right there on a little bit of a lunge, played more defense right there. Chelsea Washington has played a lot of good defense right there, and that time helping to keep Duvia all right.
Now Kovar will send it away. Nikki Cox tries to get a header over to Sarah Allen. Bulls have it on the back line. Caridi tries to play it forward. Audrey Shea in the center. Now plays it to Nikita Jacob. Back to Lena Kovar. Kovar looking to try to go all the way forward. Nobody's home. Now Barbaric. But played out by Shea. Nikita Jacob. Mackenzie Ruber now. Back to Audrey Shea yet again. Kept in by Caitlin Walsh. Ruber tries to send it forward, but it is going to be played out off the leg of Wengender. So a throw-in coming here for Bowling Green. Mackenzie Ruber set throw in.
And the other big thing that I haven't really seen from the Buffalo Bulls right now is this offensive aggressiveness. If this is the energy that they're going to bring out after halftime, it's not going to work against this Falcons defense. So I wonder if they're playing more with reserves.
Washington looking to set up Katie Cox on the outside. Streaking Katie Cox, ball is just deflected there by one of the backline players, Emily Kelly, able to make an easy stop that time.
But if you're the Bulls, you need to put more emphasis on that offense as the Falcons look to have just drained everything from the offense of the Bulls, just not allowing anything past that back line and really taking the aggressiveness out of the gate.
Mackenzie Ortman that time will play it back to Shea. Shea is going to look over to Kovar. Dieselhoff now finds herself with the ball. Back to Kovar. Kovar is going to dish back to Duvie. Duvie, we'll see if she tries to draw in the defense again. She will. Now back to Kovar. Kovar has a little bit of room. She sends it all the way forward. Sarah Allen is there. The foot race is on now for the ball. Allen is got the edge on the outside. She's got Katie Cox inside, but defenders blocking the way there. Took a couple of defenders, but they were able to stop the fast break opportunity of Sarah Allen that time.
And Katie Cox was down there with her, and it looks like either she was tripped or she slipped off of the ground, which I'm sure is getting all wet now as the sun starts to set here in Bowling Green.
Kelly to punt it away. We got some substitutions coming here shortly for both teams. The Bulls. After Bowling Green's called for a foul, the Bulls will have a free kick. Van Kuyk. Waiting for all her players to get in position. Under 30 minutes to play here. Bulls really looking to make something happen here, down 2-0. Van Kuyk sends it forward. Headed out by Chelsea Washington. Nikita Jacob now is going to play the ball out. It's going to come back out to around midfield. It'll find the foot of Zocali. Zocali tries to play it forward to Walsh. And that is going to go out off the foot of Walsh. It will be Falcons ball. Checking into the game now for both teams.
Kennedy White's going to trot in, but first for the Bulls, number 15, Myreed Martin's going to check on out.
And then in for the Bulls is going to be Marie Martin and number 23, Andy Judas. Judas checks back into the game for the second time.
Sarah Allen's going to go ahead and check out in favor of number 4, Kennedy White for the Falcons.
Walsh to play it back. Camper moves it back to Wengender in the middle. Kovar tried to play it out, but off of Wengender there. Duvie's going to play it back out to the near side. It's going to carry out of bounds. It's going to be a throw in here. Caitlin Walsh is quickly setting up to throw in.
That was a risky play there by Audrey Shea, sending it back to Duvie instead of trying to get rid of the ball.
Wengender. Audrey Shea trying to battle there, and it's going to be a corner kick for the Bulls.
And there's that aggressiveness that we talked about with the Bulls. The Bulls really weren't bringing anything to the table to start this second half, but now that we're getting in here a little bit, and the Bulls have now felt out the new alignment that Coach Matt Fannin has brought up for the Falcons. The Bulls are going to get an opportunity here with their third corner kick of the game.
Van Kuyk will be taking the corner kick this time for the Bulls. Big opportunity for them if they look to get back into this ball game. Van Kuyk sends it in. It's going to find a Bowling Green head, and it's going to be played out. Nikki Cox now has the ball on the outside, working with a little bit of space. Quickly covered there by Van Kuyk. The Bulls now regain possession of the ball. Walsh, but it's quickly taken away that time by Audrey Shea. Katie Cox now on the front line. Kennedy White gets a foot on it. Tess Ford will have to round it up for the Bulls on the back line. Bulls to play it forward. Good play that time. However, Audrey Shea is going to play it back out.
And there's a player down on the field. Duvey was trying to call off her player, just streaking towards it. Really risky play there by Duvey, as Duvey ended up hitting the deck, and if Shea was not in that position, that ball just gently rolls into the goal. And there was a player just shaking up on that, as there was a nasty collision.
So as we reset here now, the Bulls will throw in deep in their offensive zone after a Kovar play out that time. 26-50. Looking into Barbaric. Good move there on the far side by the Bulls. Pressed out that time by Audrey Shea. Game getting a little more aggressive.
This is the bowl season they are playing for right now.
Both teams back against the wall. They want to move on to that MAC championship. Falcons, of course, trying to get there for the second year in a row.
And win it for the second year in a row.
Buffalo will try to play it back in. Kovar just going to quickly touch it out. So a throw in deep in the offensive zone of the Bulls. 26 to play.
And you wonder if all this just touching out of bounds is just a way of burning some clock.
Bowling Green still stepping up to play pretty good defense. Another Bulls throw in. Ball still battling around in that far side north corner. And it's going to be a corner kick now for the Bulls. So Van Kuyk does trot over. She will be taking the corner this time with 25-30 to play.
And these Bulls fans trying just to put some energy back into their team, as after the Falcons went up 2-0, a lot of energy just drained from the Bulls squad.
Van Kuyk into the middle. Headed out by Washington. Who else? Played very good offense and defense so far in this game. Buffalo just cannot play it into the box. Bowling Green's defense standing strong. Played out again by Bowling Green. Washington looks forward, finds Kennedy White. A lot of room for White. She's just going to dish off near side to Ruber. Ruber back forward to White. White's going to keep it in on the near side edge. Looking back to Ruber. She has Mackenzie Ruber in the middle. Ruber is going to big collision down there in as Emily Kelly puts her body on the line to get in front of that one.
And Kelly, for the second time, takes another shot, and she is down yet again. Keep in mind, during that halftime break, we saw Sarah Bykowitz for the Bulls over there warming up, and Kelly is very visibly limping on that right sideline. And you'll wonder how long she'll stay on the field, as she does look in pain.
A little bit anxious now. She will send it away, though. Caitlin Walsh, the intended receiver. Audrey Shea finds it after Walsh tries to play it forward. Wengender now with the ball, battling with Katie Cox. Cox looking for her older sister, Nikki. Nikki quickly plays it back to Kennedy White. White is going to slip down in the box. Can't get back up. Now she does. But Walsh and the Bulls, now Wengender with the ball as the Bulls try to go on a run of their own.
Kennedy White slipping and sliding, just trying to keep that ball alive and getting it to Ruber. Gets the ball back.
Wengender tried to play it forward to Caridi, but taken away by the Falcons. Kennedy White now with the ball in their own end. Nikki Cox now. And now she'll be called. for offsides.
Very delayed offsides call, as Nikki Cox knew that it was offsides.
Everyone had basically stopped.
Yeah, except for the clock.
Clock is the one element that is not only Buffalo is now not only playing against the Falcons, they are playing against the clock as well. Time never your friend when you're down in these scenarios.
And it's a 2-point deficit on top of that. The Bulls are trying to get 3 on the board.
Washington, Ortman. Now the Bulls. Battle, no, it'll stay with the Bulls. It's going to go out of play off the foot there of Chelsea Washington. Bulls to throw in. Give it back to Tess Ford. Thrown in again by the Bulls. Good run here coming, opportunity coming for Buffalo. However, errant pass is going to be taken away by Mackenzie Ruber. Ruber's just going to dish to Kovar. Kovar will send it all the way out past midfield. Buffalo trying to keep it in, but Kennedy White corrals that one in with her foot. Ruber. Short pass there to Audrey Shea.
And the whistle for what sounds to be a hold, but the Bulls fans are the only ones being very vocal for the Bulls.
Van Kuyk now will take the free kick. She's done a lot of the handiwork on these free kicks tonight.
They've been doing that periodically. About every 10 minutes, it seems. Now in college, can you
Van Kuyk calling out what play she wants to run.
bring a player out?
She's going to play it into the far side of the box. Ball still bouncing around, and it's going to be played out that time.
And who else on the contest but Chelsea Washington?
Buffalo still has the ball in the box, so another opportunity coming. Shot on net's going to go just to the outside. Doovie drops down just in case, but that one was wide.
And they rule a corner kick, but it doesn't look like the ball was touched by a Falcon player. But unfortunately, there are no replays. And it will be a corner kick for the Bulls.
Van Kuyk going to quickly trot over to set up for the corner.
5th corner for these Bulls tonight, and none of which have resulted in points.
Van Kuyk this time playing it into the middle again. Again deflected away by the head of Chelsea Washington. Then Nikki Cox presses it further out of the box, and it's going to find Katie Cox. Both sisters on a run here. Nikki Cox has the outside edge on the far side. She's in the box now, and she's going to be taken down that time. No call there. Emily Kelly plays it back out quickly.
Nikki Cox wanted a whistle there, but I think it was clean.
That was probably for the handball.
Buffalo now.
Yeah, that was a makeup call.
All the way forward. That's Taylor Caridi. And it will go Bulls way after going out of bounds. Throw in again. Throw in's going to go long that time. Foul is going to be called on the Falcons.
Just about 20 minutes left here to play in this second half. The Bulls are trying to get on the board for the first time here. And do keep in mind, the winner of this game will take on the winner of the Ohio University Bobcats and the Eastern Michigan Eagles, which will take place after this game.
Buffalo ball bounces around in the box. Doobie's going to come up quickly on it. Able to get in front of it. Now Bowling Green will look to shift and try to go on the attack here as Doobie is going to send this one away. Going to try to draw. Doobie's going to send it out past midfield, looking for the head of Kennedy White.
It bounced off of the head of number 15, Martine, back into the head of Kennedy White, and the official immediately saying Kennedy White's got to trot out. That ball caught Kennedy White square in the forehead. She is up and she is standing. She is okay, but the training staff for the Falcons will trot out just to make sure that Kennedy White's okay. She is standing and she's walking off under her own power, but she will be taken out of this game. So Kennedy White's night is most likely over.
Precautionary.
It's all good things. I'm sure she'll be looked at for a possible concussion, but I don't think anything was out of that. But it's good to see that she's okay.
So now Sarah Allen will come back into the game as Kennedy White not taken off the field. She walked off the field under her own power with the trainer. But regardless, Sarah Allen has to come back in. So now another substitution coming for Buffalo, and that is going to
Number
be
9, Gianna Yurchak for Taylor Caridi. And the thing that surprises me with that is immediately the official pulled out Kennedy White, but after Emily Kelly has taken a couple shots in goal for Buffalo, she is yet to be pulled.
Walsh now. Quickly to play back to Zocali. Zocali. Kovar. Played out. It'll go with the Bulls. Zocali. Tess Ford. See what she'll do with it here. Sarah Allen tried to jump a potential pass to Van Kuyk, however, it never went there. Kovar just going to step in front of it as the ball goes all the way back to Kathleen Duvey.
And the thing that we've been seeing from a lot of these Bulls players, a lot of grabbing and pushing, as of course they are playing for their season, as the Falcons are as well. But the Bulls being down 2-0 know that there's only so much time left.
Sarah Allen here, now with the edge. She's got Nikki Cox inside the box if she can make something happen. Good move there by Sarah Allen. Allen is going to put it up, and it is going to go just wide that time. It's going to be, I believe, a corner kick coming for Bowling Green.
And it was a good shot there by Sarah Allen. She had the edge. She had the step on her player. Looks like more it was just tipped off of the hand of Kelly. We're going to get a substitution. Sofia Barnes is going to trot in favor of Dieselhoff. And it's going to be a corner kick for the Falcons.
Kovar going to go down into the southwest corner of Cochrane Stadium to take this corner. Played behind the net. So, goal kick coming here for Emily Kelly.
Little too much to the side. But going back to that Sarah Allen push, Sarah Allen has been all over this offense. Coming in, Alexis Miller is going to trot in for number 5, Nikita Jacob. But with Sarah Allen, she's been all over the offensive side of the ball. We saw it against Central Michigan on Sunday for the quarterfinal, and we saw it tonight during the semifinals.
We dropped that because we went to a block schedule.
Battle down there.
Another substitution coming in soon for the Falcons.
Now I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th Hunters Language Garden School. 2
Still, another throw in there for Buffalo. As they try to get something to work, Tess Ford finds herself with the ball. Gonna play it forward. That's Camper.
So last year I did Introduction to Journalism. And introduction
So
to
Callie
Theater.
tries to play it into the offensive zone, but Kovar quickly to Shea. Shea looked for Nikki Cox. Pass jumped there by Tess Ford. The Bulls now take over.
Called Money Matters.
They try to move it forward on that far side. I believe that's Barbaric. Good move there. Quickly taken away, though, by the Falcons as they look to bring it across to their side of the field.
Yeah. So we're doing a finance course.
Ball bounces around. Still is Walsh. Tries to gain possession. She'll do just that. Wengender now with the ball. Tries to pass it forward, but Audrey Shea will play it out. Buffalo still has the ball down in their own end. On the attack. 15:45. It's going to be a corner kick coming here for the Bulls.
This is their 6th corner kick of the night. So far, they are 0 for 5 on corner kicks, and the Bulls are just running out of time.
Getting down into crunch time here. Van Kuyk sends it in. It's going to find the head of Washington once again. A little more highly contested. Wengender now with the ball in the box, right at the edge. Washington going to send it away. So Callie. It's going to go out off the foot, indeed, of Carly Zocali. We're going to get substitution into the game.
Kristen Tvite's going to go ahead and check in favor of Mackenzie Ruber. So give Ruber an opportunity to sit. And then for the Bulls coming in is Hannah Callaghan coming in for Annie Judas. With 14:45 left to play here in the second half of play.
Tvite will throw in. As you mentioned, we are over 2/3 of the way through this second half. Another substitution will come for Bowling Green shortly, but right now Sarah Allen controlling possession. Quickly turned over. Wengender finds herself with the ball now for the Bulls, looking to make something happen inside. Tries to find a little bit of room. It's not there. It's going to be played away by Kovar. Back out to the middle. Bulls now trying to make something happen once again. Walsh tries to play it forward. She will. Washington, good defense there. Quickly gets in front of the ball. Tvite's going to play it out now this time. It's going to be a throw-in coming for Buffalo. Walsh will just throw it down into the corner. Looking for your check, I believe. Now at the top of the box, Kovar will play it out. Nikki Cox is there, but so is this Bulls back line. Walsh now with the ball as Buffalo tries to keep the pressure on.
No whistle right there as number 24, Lena Kovar, just got shoved to the ground. And no whistle called, but it is moot as the ball goes out of bounds, and we're going to see substitutions for both teams here in a moment.
And it looks like Kennedy White might be coming back into this game, so good sign as Kennedy White is set to come back in.
It was all just precautionary. Make sure that she's okay, that she's fully capable to walk in and out under her own power.
Ball out to Kovar. Sends it all the way forward that time. It's going to be played out by Buffalo.
And in are going to come the substitutions. First of all, we're going to see Lindsay Spots come back in here for Katie Cox. For Buffalo, Abby Callahan is going to come in for number 4, Caitlin Walsh. And
Kennedy White still standing down there close to Coach Fannin. She will check in next time for the Falcons. Cox trying to make something happen in the box, but it's going to be played out there by the Bulls.
And Nikki Cox has really just been everywhere tonight, along with Chelsea Washington. And the substitution's going to come in.
And that will be Kennedy White indeed. She'll come back in for Sarah Allen, so great to see her back out on the pitch for the Falcons.
And I know her family in California is happy to hear that she's back on the field after a ball ricocheted right off of her head. But she's all right and back on the field now.
Bowling Green still has it. Far side. Good defense there by the Bulls. Trying to make something happen. Looked inside, trying to go to Lindsay Spots, but Tess Ford able to play it out. Foul called that time on Mackenzie Ortman. Buffalo looking to pass it around amongst the back line. So Callie. Playing it out across midfield. Tvite's going to put a head on the ball. It goes right over to Chelsea Washington, more in the middle of the field. Washington going to look all the way forward to Nikki Cox, but we are going to get another offsides call.
And with just about 11 minutes left to play, clock is running out on the Bulls. The Bulls are just simply running out of time, and it seems almost that they've lost all the aggressiveness on their offense.
Getting down to crunch time is Tess Ford here, just going to send it all the way to the opposite side of the field. More diagonal than forward. Buffalo still trying to play it along that far side. Ortman jumps in front of it. Battle for the ball down there just to the left of the Falcons bench. It's going to be taken away by Ortman. Ortman looking forward to Nikki Cox. Nikki Cox now with the ball. Back line is there, but she has Kennedy White there with her. Buffalo able to play it away. Trying to make a move now with the ball. Buffalo pressing it all the way forward. Still now, at the top of the box trying to get something inside. There's that Falcon defense yet again. They've played great defense tonight, which has helped out Kathleen Duvey tremendously. And we are going to get a foul called in the box that time.
And these Bulls fans are happy because they're going to get a penalty kick. That happened inside the box. And we saw earlier another play where a Falcons player was thrown to the ground and no call by the referee. And now the Bulls are going to go ahead and get an untimed kick. And it's going to be Duvey to defend. The kick
is good. It will go into the back of the net, and we'll look to see who that is. We believe that to be Marcy Barbaric. So Barbaric is going to put the Bulls on the board. Falcons still lead 2-1, but the Bulls now, we will gain a little bit of momentum coming off of the penalty kick goal by Marcy Barbaric.
And this is what I love to see out of the Falcons. Chelsea Washington assembles her team together and says, hey, we've got this. We're not out of it. Let's just keep playing good defense. No matter what the officials are calling, as there were a couple of where the officials are just throwing a player down and no call against the Bulls, but when it's the Falcons, those whistles are ringing, and Chelsea Washington just trying to help her team get through the last 10 minutes of this game.
Spots back to Washington, who goes to Miller, finds Tveit now on the outside. Back to Miller. Miller sends it forward. Quickly jumped there by Zocali. Washington now with the ball. Going to look outside, Nikki Cox. Onside this time, Nikki Cox looking to press it inside. Will she find something? She'll look. Looking for Kennedy White. Oh, great save there by Emily Kelly. We've seen her make a couple good saves tonight. She made another one right there as Kennedy White looked to the top of the net.
Emily Kelly, what more can you say? That's why you don't pull her out, even though she's feeling it a little bit. Emily Kelly gets up, gets some air underneath her, and just punches that ball up and over the net as Kennedy White placed a great ball exactly where it needed to be. And now we're going to see a corner kick with Lena Kovar back there.
Kovar going to send it back in. Low this time, quickly played out by the Bulls. Can the Falcons keep that pressure on? Tveit now going to give it right back out to Kovar. Kovar plays it to the top of the box again, but it's going to be pressed out there by the Bulls. Wengender outside in front of the benches. It's going to be ruled in it. The possession arrow will go in favor of the Falcons.
And we're going to see a substitution. Coming back into the game is Mackenzie Ruber coming in for Kristen Tveit. Tveit giving Ruber a little bit of a break, but now Ruber's ready to come back in and help the Falcons finish strong with just under 9 to play.
Into Cox. Nikki Cox. Third all-time on Bowling Green's postseason scoring list. Ruber now finds herself with the ball. Quickly dishes forward to Washington. Washington has Spots and White in front of her. She'll indeed give to Kennedy White. White going to go to Spots, and Spots is going to get it on the wrong side of her foot, and it's going to go just wide that time. Lindsay Spots had a good opportunity there. However, just clips the inside of her foot and goes to the left of the goal.
And Kennedy White had the step. She could have taken the shot herself, but elected to give it to Lindsay Spots, who had the better shot, and just did not work.
Tess Ford tried to play it out there, but ref will signal ball. Will go back to Kelly. Under 8 to go here. 7:45 remaining in this game. Kelly's going to send it away. Buffalo playing a lot to the right side of their team, the right side of their offense, defense, and midfield. Pressing it up on the far side a lot. Substitution coming here for the Falcons.
Whistle, and the ball was out of bounds, and that's going to indicate the substitution as well. The sisters will be rejoined. Katie Cox is going to go ahead and trot back into this game in favor of Lindsay Spots. Spots getting some good minutes, some good defensive play, and she will go see the bench.
In Nikki Cox. Nikki Cox quickly played it to her younger sister, Katie. Ball will go forward all the way through to Zocali on the back line. Zocali going to be played up by Alexis Miller. However, it will bounce out of bounds. Throw in coming for Buffalo.
6:42 and counting.
Zocali throws in. Trying to go all the way forward at that time to Van Kuyk. who has switched positions on the field, playing a forward now.
A lot of pushing and shoving, and that time the whistle goes in favor of Bowling Green. We've seen a lot of calls go against the Falcons today, and most notably that penalty kick that scored Buffalo's lone goal, but that time the call goes in favor of the Falcons.
And that's been a battle that has gone back and forth. Audrey Shea has been tied up there for most of the night. Late in the game, 6 minutes to play. Bowling Green leads 2-1 still. Kennedy White off the head. Nikki Cox is going to be called for offsides again.
And they're going to stop the clock as Buffalo is pointing and saying, oh, well, Nikki Cox kicked the ball away and delayed the game, and adds a couple extra seconds as Buffalo will get a free kick.
Free kick indeed coming for the Bulls. Tess Ford. Ford is going to send it out across midfield, foot of Washington. They'll go outside, but Buffalo will keep possession now. Rounded up by Camper. Camper tries to go outside. It's going to go out of play, though. Throw in coming this time. Dieselhoff on that far side, right at the edge of the Falcon bench. Dieselhoff going to quickly try to throw it in, tries to get it to Kennedy White. However, picked off by a Bulls defender. The Bulls now trying to press into the box. Shot will go into the box, but it is going to be played out by Mackenzie Ruber. She'll look to play it forward to Nikki Cox. Nikki Cox tries to play it forward to Washington. Washington now gets possession. Trying to make something happen. She'll look to go back outside to Cox, but Cox not able to get there. It's going to be defended away by Zocali, and it will go out of play as Ruber will reset to throw in.
And that's a great play by Zocali. If Zocali misses that kick, Cox is wide open down the field with nobody in front of her.
Cox trying to move it around, so Callie's going to defend it out again. Ruber to throw in once again.
As we tick under 5 minutes, 33 degrees here, the temperature, so this field is getting slick.
Ruber trying to find her way to the middle, so Callie puts her body out there to play it away. Wengender battling with Miller, now with Washington. Played away there by Ruber. Nikki Cox now with the ball. Good move there. Wengender goes to the ground. Playing it forward to the younger sister, Katie Cox. Katie Cox now has the ball in southwest corner of Cochrane Stadium. Getting pushed around there a little bit. Legs will get tangled up, and Katie Cox will be called for the foul. Ball will go in favor of the Bulls.
But the big thing to note with that, we are just getting to the 4-minute mark, as the Bulls do have to hurry to try to tie this game up.
Tess Ford plays it away. It's going to come all the way down, but Ruber's there. Plays it quickly to Washington. Washington going to play it back forward to Katie Cox. Katie Cox on the outside now. Tries to get an edge, but she's going to go down once again. And ball will go in favor of Buffalo one more time.
As it looked more so that Katie Cox was just pushed over. That's the second time it's looked like that, and she's just trying to maintain a little bit of possession and not giving the Bulls a free chance.
So Callie now will play it forward to the center. It finds the foot of Alexis Miller, who's quickly going to play it all the way back where it will find Emily Kelly. Kelly's going to play it out. Collision down there far side, but Buffalo has the ball as they press forward. Defense by Kovar. Ball will carry out. It will go with the Falcons.
And clock will stop, as I believe we're going to see a substitution coming in. Is going to be number 14, Taylor Caridi, trotting in for Gianna Yurchek for the Bulls. The clock was completely stopped with 3:14 left. Falcons 2, Bulls 1.
And a reminder that after this game, Zach alongside of me. Next game, he will be alongside Donovan Mann for the call. Eastern Michigan versus Ohio. The second of the semifinal matchups, where the winner of that game will play the winner of this game right here in Cochrane Stadium on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Buffalo trying to mount momentum, but Miller there kicks it away for the moment. Ball will go out of play. It will stay with the Falcons. Dieselhoff to throw in there. Edge of the Falcons bench once again.
And do keep in mind, the one goal scored by the Bulls came off of a penalty kick. So this Falcons defense is almost playing lights out.
And it will be a throw-in coming here for Bowling Green as they quickly try to get it into Nikki Cox. Cox back to Deiselhoff. The back line now finds the ball. Buffalo, Wengender trying to play it forward. She'll press it in one more time, quickly fenced out by Audrey Shea. Nikki Cox now with the ball. Over by the scoring table. Players tangled up right there in front of the Falcons bench. And Katie Cox going to be called for another foul as the clock goes down to around 2 to play. I believe Van Kuyk back to kick it forward. The ball is going to be jumped by Katie Cox. 2 defenders there on Cox. Nikki Cox, her older sister comes over to help her out. Nikki Cox going to be knocked to the ground.
And there's that aggressiveness again. The Bulls know that their backs are against the wall as we trot under a minute 50 left. The Bulls need at least one goal to stay alive, and it's getting very, very aggressive down on the field.
The Bulls know that they're a minute and 30 seconds away from the end of their season. They now try to play it forward again. They have the ball at midfield, sent forward. Going to be picked off there once again by the Falcons. Deiselhoff playing it forward to Katie Cox. Cox looks down to Washington with wide open room here near side.
Chelsea trying to put another goal on the board.
Chelsea's just simply taking time off the clock as she goes down into that southwest corner. No rush at all here as we're almost down to a minute to play. Ball will stay with the Falcons. Played out there by the Bulls. Ruber will throw in as we have 1 minute to play. Goes into Washington. Played out again there by the Bulls. Bowling Green, ideal case scenario, just keep the ball down in this corner, trapped for as long as possible as time ticks off the clock. Ball will go out of play, and it will be a corner kick coming for Bowling Green.
Back there to take it looks to be Chelsea Washington, number 7.
And
just kicks it to Nikki Cox.
Smart play there that time by Chelsea Washington and Nikki Cox, both captains of this team. And the ball will stay in play there. Nikki Cox still has the ball. Bulls trying to get it away. They will finally get it. Miller going to keep it in with the head, though.
20 seconds to play.
And Miller will send it all the way across the field. Far side ball will roll out of bounds. Kept in by the Bulls. The Bulls are going to send it forward, but too little, too late, as Alexis Miller is going to play it back out of bounds, and the Falcons will win the first semifinal game here of this Mid-American Conference tournament. They will win by a final score of 2-1 over the Buffalo Bulls. So now we know one team in the final for Sunday. Your Bowling Green State University Falcons advance past Central Michigan, advance past Buffalo, and now they will await the winners of the next game between Ohio and Eastern Michigan.
And you got to give a lot of credit to this Buffalo Bulls team. They came out, they played aggressive, they played against a really, really good goalkeeper in Emily Kelly, who made some fantastic saves today, including a couple ones where she just swats the ball over the net. This Bulls team was no joke, hence why they made it this far. But the Falcons, who were so good at home this season, although it is a quote-unquote neutral game, the Falcons being here in front of this home crowd on their home turf really put on a show. And it all started with Chelsea Washington, the senior captain of this Falcons team, who in my opinion is the player of the game.
I'm going to agree with you on that one. Chelsea Washington, that penalty kick goal, it really shifted all the momentum towards the Falcons, and they were just able to pull away from there with the goal by Katie Cox as well, coming off of a nice assist by Sarah Allen, but it definitely all got started with that Washington goal. So now we have about an hour until the start of the next game. Eastern Michigan, of course, taking on Ohio, the 6 against the 7 seed. Right now we know the 1 seed Bowling Green is locked in to the final.
And couple final statistics from that game. The final score did end up being 2-1. 2 assists from Bowling Green, no assists from Buffalo, as that 1 goal was scored off of a penalty kick. 16 total shots by Bowling Green, with 9 of them being on goal. For Buffalo, 6 total shots, with 4 of those being on goal. There were 6 total corner kicks for both teams, and 1 yellow card each, so that didn't come back to haunt either team. Great game here by the Bowling Green Falcons, and Kathleen Duvey, who has helped to lead this team as the Izegi Zumba chants get ready to get started here down in the bottom corner of the screen, as the Falcons get a huge win here at home to advance to the final game where they will look to be back-to-back champions. And, of course, as Brandon mentioned, they will be taking on the winner of the Ohio University Bobcats and the Eastern Michigan Eagles, which will be underway here in about an hour. Myself, as well as Donovan Mann, the executive director of the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization, will be on that call for you coming soon.
So if you want to stick around and watch some more soccer and see who the Falcons will take on Sunday, stick around. Zach Smith, Donovan Mann, they're going to be bringing you all the action here in just under an hour, as Eastern Michigan and Ohio will soon come out to warm up and take the field. But again, the story right now, Bowling Green advances on, looking to become back-to-back champions of the Mid-American Conference.
But for myself and Brandon Lowe, I'm Zach Smith. The Falcons get a great victory here, 2-1 to advance to the finals, and we will wait to see who they play. Big thank you to all the analysts up here in the press box, as well as WBGU-TV for allowing Brandon and I the opportunity to call this game. And, of course, Brandon, myself, and Donovan will all be here on Sunday to help bring you the action of Bowling Green versus whomever wins this game. And so, for Brandon Lowe, my partner, I'm Zach Smith. Do stick around. We've got another great game coming, but the Falcons win 2-1. Roll along, BG Warriors. We'll see you Sunday.